The views expressed are solely those of the speaker and not necessarily those of Paltalk.com, AVM Software, or its advertisers.
News Talk is online. News Talk Online is a production of Paltalk.com, the largest multimedia interactive program on the internet with more than 4 million unique users on demand on iTunes and on YouTube and on my blog, GaryBaumgarten.com, where you are encouraged to post comments, whether you agree or disagree with yours truly. And thanks to our good friends at CRN Digital Talk Radio, we are syndicated across the United States into an additional 12 million households. I am your host, Gary Baumgarten, and today we are coming to you live from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, the capital of Pennsylvania. The nation's eyes are focused on PA today because of the all-important Pennsylvania Democratic primary. We are coming to you live from State Democratic Party headquarters, and in a moment we will be joined by the acting executive director of the Pennsylvania Democratic Party, Abe Amaros, who is busy still getting out the vote in the other room here. They've been kind enough to invite us into their house, so to speak, so that we could cover the election. As you know, this election is very important to both candidates on the Democratic Party ticket because Barack Obama trails in this state Hillary Clinton, but it is thought that Hillary Clinton must win 7 or 8 or maybe even 10% of the vote to remain a viable candidate because she trails in the actual popular vote and the delegate count Obama, and the party would like to put an end to this fractured debate that's going on between the two candidates and get into the position of running against John McCain. But that is not happening as of yet because Hillary Clinton is hanging on until the bitter end. Perhaps for those of us who are nonpartisans, we will be very fortunate and see this go to a floor fight in Denver, Colorado at the National Convention. Also joining us today is Lynn Landes. She is a political correspondent. She is one of the nation's leading researchers and analysts on voter integrity issues. She is featured in the books Pollution, Opposing Viewpoints, Softly on This Earth, Hijacked, and Black Box Voting, and appears in several documentaries including Got Democracy, The Right to Count, Stealing America, and Voting 101, and The Fix Is In. Landes has been a news reporter for DUTV, has hosted her own radio talk show on WDVR in New Jersey, and was a weekly commentator for BBC Radio. Lynn Landes joins us from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Lynn, welcome to News Talk Online on Paltalk.com.
Thank you for having me.
It's our pleasure, and thank you for joining us. And I just want to alert the audience that we will be after our regularly scheduled show, which runs from now until 6 o'clock Eastern Time. We will be returning at 8 o'clock New York time to watch as the votes are counted, and Lynn will be joining us again there as well. This is yours. Lynn, you have almost made a career out of watching voter returns and questioning the integrity of the voting system. What do you see so far in Pennsylvania? I have not heard of any problems.
Oh, yes. Actually, there are problems already, so I would direct your listeners to go to, there are 2 websites that are documenting these problems. One is votersunite.org, and they've documented problems since 2004 to present day. So they have, the right of their homepage, they have a election problem log that people can click onto and see what, some of the problems are already showing. The other is bradblog.com. He is also taking, account and documenting what's going on in the state. And so you'll see several examples, and I'll give you a few. In Philadelphia, many polls only have 2 voting machines, and both these voting machines must be out of operation or out of order in order for people to get paper ballots. So there are long lines, record turnout, and in some cases, those machines are down, and they're getting provisional ballots that have only one candidate on the ballot, and that's Hillary Clinton. So you can imagine. Now, this is not so unusual in this primary season. I don't know if you recall, but in New York City, 80 precincts registered no votes for Obama and votes for Hillary Clinton. So, I mean, I have my own feelings about both candidates, and I'm fairly critical of both of them. But since this primary season has begun, it seems like most of the discrepancies, the irregularities, the machine breakdowns, and that sort of thing has gone to benefit Hillary Clinton. That's what we've noticed. And in other years, for instance, the elections of 2000, 2004 of President Bush, those irregularities seem to benefit him. And we have to say, frankly, from the beginning, when these problems started being documented, particularly when the computers started being used in voting back in 1964, the irregularities and outright fraud seem to always benefit the more conservative candidate, whether it's in the primary or the general election, and whether it's Democrats or Republicans.
Lynn Landes is joining us from Philadelphia. Joining us here in Harrisburg, PA, is Abe Amaros. Am I pronouncing your name right?
It's Amaros.
Amaros, okay. Yes, and you are the executive director
of the Pennsylvania Democratic
Party.
Well,
thank you. And
thank you for having me.
It's a lovely town, Harrisburg, and I'm glad we had this occasion to come here. You must be excited because the nation's eyes are pointed at Pennsylvania today because of this election.
Absolutely. We are major players in the presidential sweepstakes for the first time since 1976, and turnout in 2004 was about 26% on the Democratic side. And clearly we're going to be looking at probably doubling that number, maybe a little bit more. We have got some preliminary reports today that are pretty exciting in terms of turnout, long lines everywhere. The colleges, universities are coming out at a higher rate than ever. So it's going to be an interesting time, not just today in Pennsylvania, but in the fall as well. And we hope to carry this momentum